Hey everybody, I hope you're all doing safe out there and riding that folding bike. I'm going to show you a couple of things that I take with me when I go on a ride. If I'm riding to town, it's only a couple of miles, something I can push my bike and walk. I don't normally take stuff with me. But if I'm going somewhere where one, it's going to take hours to walk, or two, just going to be unsafe, not going to be able to walk along the edge of the road, maybe there's no shoulder where you have to get off on the grass to fix or repair a flat tire. I'm going to show you what I carry with me. So start off with a seat bag. Sometimes I call them a fanny bag or fanny seat bag, but some kind of a seat bag. You can kind of judge what size you want. I've got several of them. I've got one smaller than this. Excuse me. They all come with a loop on the back where you can put a flashing light on there. And I put that on the back of my seat bag, and it is bright. I'm not going to shine it directly on you, but it's USB rechargeable, and I always put that on the back of the seat bag. So let's open this up. Now this goes for road bike, mountain bike, whatever bike I'm riding. I usually carry this stuff with me. Okay, first is a multi-tool. Now, there's several different brands of multi-tools. This is what they call a Crank Brothers multi-tool. It's got about every Allen wrench, Phillips screwdriver, straight screwdriver. It's got a chain tool on there that works real good. And it's a real durable bike tool to have with you. Now, I don't use the screwdriver on there to change tires or flats. I'll show you that in just a second. Excuse me. So I do actually recommend this Crank Brothers over the Park Tool, because I had a Park Tool multi-wrench, and these screws pulled out when I went to pulling, and I've never had an issue with this. I can crank on something really hard, say this 5mm on the seat post, and I can crank down on that and it holds up well. Those are available on Amazon and they're not too expensive. Next, I have this little box, and in here I have a patch kit. Some of them have glue, some of them don't. This one has glue on the patch, so you don't need glue. Always carry a little patch kit. If you have 2 flats or 3 flats while you're out riding, you'll eventually, if you're having that bad a day, you'll have to patch a tube to get home. You can get these at Walmart. This is a kind of a multi-purpose wrench. This is for your regular Schrader valves. You know, it's got a cleaner to clean out the threads. If you'd happen to have a stem inside that valve come loose, there's no way to tighten it where it'll seal air without this little tool. And I think they're 97 cents at Walmart. This won't work on the Presta valves, but I think any of our folding bikes in this area, they all use the Schrader valve stem. And so I keep that with me, just in case that stem inside there has an issue. Let's see, next, I got a spare tube. This happens to be for a road bike, but if you're riding your folding bike, get you a spare tube and keep that, for whatever bike you have it in. Keep you a spare tube, that way if you have a flat, you can just swap out tubes and be on your way rather than having to stop and patch a tube every time you have one. Here's the tire levers. I have 3 of these, and usually I'll use at least 2 of them, sometimes 3. They're kind of a resin, I don't know if they're made of, they're not plastic, but they've got resin in them. They are super tough, and you can use that to change your tire. The hook that's on there, once you get that under your tire tube or tire, you can hook that onto a spoke and get your tire off with those. And those are pretty inexpensive. Here I've got an old film canister, and inside here I've got some latex gloves. If you've got to change a flat on the rear and you got to get that chain loose and mess with the derailleur and all that, your hands are going to get greasy. So I just keep, I think there's 4 or 5 gloves in that little film can, and I put those on if I've especially got a flat in the back. Keep your hands from getting all greasy, because you know you don't want to get it all over your bike. And that's all in there. Here in this little pouch here, I've got my ID, which you do want to have ID. If you don't want to use an ID like this, or don't want to carry your driver's license, you can get one of these bracelets. It's called a Road ID. They've got a website, and you can get this with any information you want. I've got my name, my wife's phone number, maybe a relative's phone number, any allergies you may have. This is an excellent bracelet, and most riders have one of these, because if you don't have an ID and something happens to you, you want the EMS to be able to identify somebody or see if you've got any allergies. If you don't want to do it this way, why make you up a name badge to hang around your neck or something so that you let them know, hey, I'm allergic to penicillin, don't give me any, whatever it may be. So you want to have some kind of ID. These are better than the driver's license because they can call somebody. There's a phone number on there. And if I'm on my last leg and on my way out to see God, I've got church's phone number on there too. And then also I keep some change with me. You never know when you're going to run out of water. Maybe you lose your water bottle off your bike. I keep some quarters in here. Maybe I can find a pop machine, get some water or Pepsi or something. Nowadays we all have cell phones, so we don't really need to change for a payphone. I think it's been 3 or 4 years since I've even seen a payphone that took quarters. But I keep some change in there. Something else I carry with me, especially when I'm on an unfamiliar road, is I keep a can of Halt. It's animal or dog repellent. It is the exact same formula as pepper spray. It doesn't hurt the dogs, but this will spray usually, they say 10 feet, but usually you can get 7 or 8 feet of streaming pepper spray out of this. You can get 5 or 6 dogs put down with this if you have to use it. I've used it on a couple of dogs. I keep this up by my handlebars or in my pocket of my shirt if it has a pocket. Keep it somewhere where if you're on an unfamiliar road, or if you're out at night and you're in a not so great an area, or not something that you're sure about, this is perfectly legal to carry, and it will stop a human. Your eyes are going to burn, they're going to scream, cry, whatever. I did spray a German Shepherd that I felt was really going to take me out, and that dog stopped and rubbed his nose and face on the pavement trying to get it off of him. But it saved me from getting bit or getting knocked off my bike or the dog getting hurt, because in a little bit he was okay and went on to have have the rest of his day, because it doesn't permanently hurt them. But that's something I always carry if I'm riding in an unfamiliar area, if I don't know if there's any dogs, because some of them just love to chase you. And this is the same thing that the mailman carry too. So with that said, that's a good thing to carry with you. The other thing is a tire pump. There's all kinds of tire pumps. Excuse me. On my road bike, I sometimes will carry a CO2 pump with me. It uses a little disposable CO2 cartridge. Saves a little bit of weight. But if you're not comfortable carrying a CO2 or don't trust them, then get you some kind of a tire pump. I've had several, and I still have several tire pumps. They make them that you use by hand, and typically, say a tire that holds 100 pounds, you'll be doing good to get about 60 or maybe 70 pounds of air in that tire, and you're just wore out. So with CO2, you don't have that problem. This pump here, and you can pronounce the name L-E-Z-Y-N-E, Lezine, I believe it is. This is a higher quality pump. It has a mount that goes on my bike. It's probably 200 grams. But once I take this off of here, if I can get that unthreaded here, I'll show you. Yeah, maybe. Come on. Once you get that unthreaded off there, this has a little foot stand, and you can put your foot on that, and you can pump like that. If you can see that here. And this will really increase the amount of pressure you can put in the tire, because even though it's small, you got your foot holding this down and you're pressing against the ground. You're not holding like this. This is difficult to do when you're holding this. Like this, I just wouldn't recommend it. But when you're down like this, put that on your valve. This will, I've went up to 90 on a road tire with this. Works really well. So that's pretty much all I got for today. If you got any questions, let me know, and I'll see what I can do to help you. And we'll see you again. I'll get another video out there on changing a tire for some of you that not sure about that. But this will get you going. Oh, one other thing. If you're, I believe some of the other Euro Mini bikes do not have quick releases. If your bike doesn't have quick releases on the front or back wheel, you'll need to carry a wrench. I don't know what size those are, whether they're 15, 16, or 17 millimeter. But you'll need to carry those two wrenches to get your wheels off. But if you've got the Liberté, you've got quick releases and you don't have to carry those wrenches. So you'll need to fit those wrenches in your seat bag if you've got one of the other type locking mechanisms on your wheels. So you have a great day, and we'll see you again.